It's so wonderful to have you back here, Jo, at Timeless Textiles. This is your second exhibition, and thank you for coming all the way from Portland to visit Newcastle again.
No, it's been a pleasure and really happy to be back and beautiful Newy.
Yeah. This exhibition's different. It's called The Tide is High. I'd love you to talk to us a bit about the focus for this show.
Yeah, the title of the exhibition refers to, in part, climate change, rising sea levels in a very obvious way, and then also rising anxieties and emotions of myself and other humans about where things are going in the next few decades, and how are we going to manage as a species to deal with and hopefully find good solutions to the problems that we've created for ourselves.
Would you like to talk to one or two of the pieces here? Because you have such a distinctive style. You've been using this medium for over 20 years now, Jo. Mm-hmm. Very recognisable, as well as collected all over the world. I'd love you just to talk to us a bit about the technique that you use.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually a very ordinary technique. I think, well, in America they call it single crochet. In this country they call it double or double and treble. But really it's just the building block stitch for crocheting anything. Really, if you know those stitches, you can pretty much make anything out of crochet. And so it's a way of making fabric. So I'm not stitching through an existing fabric, I'm actually creating the entire fabric out of knots of yarn. And since I started out as a painter, that's kind of my approach to it, is very different from following a pattern or geometric shapes, which crochet lends itself to, but much more organic, painterly, mixing colours, changing direction a lot, using the lines of crochet to describe the objects or people or whatever I'm depicting. And then these works here are, again, with the climate focus, and also a little bit about the meeting of nature and man-made structures or human-built things, and which is going to win out in the end. So a lot of these things are kind of a mashup of, I've taken a man-made structure but then imagined what would happen if it's submerged under the ocean for 50 years, or if trees start growing out of buildings start falling off of cliffs, sinking into the ground. So they're all a little bit of a mashup of themes and depictions. Some of them are made up very loosely based on real places, but then there's kind of an imaginary element that comes in as I'm thinking about what could happen.
You use such a painterly approach, which I imagine is about melding colours and different wools and to get that effect.
Yeah, lots of mixing, lots of changing direction. Like I was talking to some people yesterday about this sort of tornado cloud formation here, and how this really is what crochet wants to do. It wants to do lines and sort of geometric shapes. It doesn't really want to be very organic, so you actually have to work quite hard in terms of changing direction and to make it look more organic. But it's good fun to try and make it do things that it doesn't want to do, but there's a little bit of a battle always with it. And yeah, just a lot of crocheting 1, 2, 3 colors together at once, a lot of color changes. I can have 12 balls of yarn kind of attached to each piece at a time if I'm picking them up, and then dropping them, picking up another color, working them in together. So Yeah, and it's very intuitive. I don't really plan it. I sort of have a loose plan of what it's going to be, but when I'm in the crochet, I'm very much just trying these colors. Does that work? Do I like that? You know, moving on, adding on to different sections of it. So, and then I just kind of see where the composition is going and figure out how to finish it.
And as you move around the world, do you look at something and think, yes, that's where I'm going to have a go next?
Well, I think when I'm traveling or just walking around in general, I'll see things that hit me in a way that, you know, it's connecting with whatever things that I'm thinking about, themes that I want to bring into my work or that have already been in my work. So it'll be, yeah, just a part of a landscape. Like this morning when I was walking since last night, it looked like part of the hillside at the harbour had fallen down, just slid off the hill from the rain yesterday, you know, and I immediately thought, you know, this kind of ties in with my themes just in terms of, you know, land erosion and yeah, how we are constantly trying to shore things up to make sure that we can, you know, stay where we are and live where we want to live. But nature is much stronger, weather is much stronger than we are.
So you haven't formed a focus for your future work?
I mean, I think it just, it's like a narrative that continues on with different paths. You know, there are things that I will, subjects and sort of themes that I will continue on, and those will kind of branch out. So the male nudes, for example, started out as just kind of a self-challenge. Can I do this? Could I crochet a giant naked man? Oh, I can. Okay, now I'm going to try and add in other themes and other things that I'm thinking about and sort of superimpose them on top of the representation. And the same with portraits. Some portraits are always just straight portraits, but oftentimes I'm kind of trying to work things into them while I'm doing them. So yeah, I mean, I write things down, I think about stuff, things go on the back burner, and you know, sometimes you just want to make what you want to make, whether it's, you know, congruent with whatever else you're doing. Because everything takes so long to make, I like to be able to jump around between subjects so I don't get kind of not bored but just stuck just doing similar types of work for a long time. So I can't help myself. There's so much to do. You know, there's no shortage of ideas. It's just what do I have the time? What can I get done? I'll just thank you for having me back again. I know I was supposed to be back 5 years ago and finally made it back. So yeah, it's just been brilliant, and it's just, I love being on another continent, feeling the weather and the air, seeing the different plants, and of course in Australia especially the animals. The animals are amazing. And yeah, happy to be back.
And I'm delighted to have you back. So thank you so very much. It's a treat to have you back in Australia.
Thank you, Anne.